I think we're gonna try. Because I'm
So-
trying to make this seem a little bit better suited, but it looks kind of funny.
Can we get much higher?
I think we can. Is there anything you want to say to Blakely?
Yeah, I just posted on Instagram. Maybe just go smash that like button a little bit. It's a new Instagram handle, Matt in Atlanta.
What's Matt in Atlanta?
Just the Instagram handle a little bit better. So I was trying to get. So I had Matthew D James, and I don't even know where to look. So I had Matthew D James, but then I hate Matthew. God, is the bane of my existence.
Did I tell you that I have a friend whose name is Matthew James from volleyball, who lives in Ohio? Hey, Matt.
No, you did not. So is it like weird for you to see me now?
I think every time I tag you on something on Facebook and also on Instagram, I think he's Matthew. I think his middle name is D too. It's always a little awkward.
My parents were big Bible shakers, very big Bible shakers. So yeah, they're all about those kinds of names. Yes, you have an interesting name story as well. That you added, what was it, an extra syllable to your name?
I have multiple syllables. I think that everybody was born from Taiwan versus China, and then their last name's a little different. So I think my name was modified quite a bit, I think, growing up through the spectrum. But hey, those of you who don't know who this guy is.
I'm Matt. We're here at IT Works in the J.D. Edwards market. Hobbies include drinking craft beer, yelling at the Atlanta Falcons, and playing a little Rocket League. So yeah, just feel free, maybe slide me a DM if you want to hit the sticks or want to find gainful employment. That's what I do.
Absolutely. Matt's been a breath of fresh air that came with a lot of energy, and I think that from image, from the present that you have both on the phone and writing in person, I think there's been a lot of really tremendous impact. And then most of you have seen the M3 episodes from probably 4 months ago.
Something like that.
I remember the we call him Tank in house.
Yeah, that's the first time. I've always been a big dude, but no one's ever called me that in my life. You know, it sounds so cliche, but God, I just it is interesting getting to talk to people all over the country. I think today, done Florida, Ohio, California.
Wow.
There's Virginia. Well, yeah, and it's just working across North America. So
yeah, and it's only like 3:40 Eastern Standard Time right now on a Friday afternoon.
When you were, I know you're more on the training and development side now, but was it awful when you were here on the East Coast doing like West Coast stuff?
I did a little bit of everything actually. I think that most of you have known me from my prior lives. I used to work on the other side of the coast as well, and so I did a 3-hour difference, and I was based out of Utah, which is on mountain time, for 4 years too. Yeah. So I'm fairly used to the time zone, but obviously that culturally there is a difference.
Really?
And obviously on the client side versus Canada, I'm a firm believer that people tend to be more vulnerable. At the end of the day, I think that everybody come down to a little bit more about the general consensus better towards the end of the day, especially when you're talking about a candidate after a full day working. I can usually get them to open up a little better.
Should have some, maybe a little alcohol in there, maybe that's like a little snip.
Maybe not so much alcohol, but obviously in the East Coast, especially Northeast, definitely have the happy hour culture. So they're actually playing. Sometimes nice to get people to talk a little bit more, or they'll go off on the restaurant or bar to talk about things.
Yeah.
But obviously in the West Coast, I do find that actually working to that 3-hour, 4-hour, well, unless you're in Hawaii, that's another spectrum as well.
Oh,
to
God.
The differences.
I always forget, like, technically Hawaii. Is Hawaii technically North America? No. It'd be Asia Pacific.
I don't want to get into the political correctness. Anybody who knows?
Please put that in the comments.
Yes, please. I was like, I would hate to call somebody that grew up in Hawaii and we call them North American or Pacific Islander.
I think I'd be a Pacific Islander.
To be honest, because I was born and raised in Taiwan, obviously that some of you may even testify if that's a country or not. I always, sometimes every now and then I want to consider myself Asian or Pacific Islander. I sometimes get confused on which box to choose. So
I don't know. That'd be interesting. Yeah, but please, someone figure, like, there has to be a geography like guru somewhere who's watching this.
I think 7 minutes in when he got himself in a lot of trouble.
Well, it's interesting. You're talking about the West Coast. When you were doing that stuff, one thing I've been finding is time management. And last night it was like 7:30, and I got a call from LA, and I was like, God, why is this guy calling me? And I was like, well, I can't really blame him. It's 4:30, where he's just getting off of work, and like that's been, I guess, a big milestone, is actually realizing that if you quantify and monetize the thought of time, how valuable it is. Even though in the recruitment industry, it's usually the client's time is valuable, the candidate's time, and a lot of people don't think, my time is very valuable. I mean, did you ever have a revelation like that?
I did, especially that when I actually had a client treated me like dirt, and then even maybe even lower grade than a dirt, and I think that happened more than once. And then, but it's everybody have a purpose. I do firmly believe in that.
Yeah.
And some is helping the other people understand that what's the purpose of our existence. For example, if I were a external recruiter or staffing professional to approach a company internally, I want to bring to what the value I bring to the table, knowing that they have their job to do. It's actually one of my training sessions next week.
Oh.
Because I think we talk about internal HR, we talk about internal recruitment team. Excuse me. They're usually are also they're doing their job too.
Yeah.
There's no point of bringing another person down, delivering, and sometimes it's a matter of for us to realize that, are they attacking me as a person, or are they attacking me as one of the many? Which I think that on the agency side of things, that can easily be portrayed many different ways.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, one thing I think gets lost, and maybe the consultant can do a better job, is yes, we want to get placements. Obviously, we have goals, financially, that we want to.
We'll have a business to run.
Yeah, to succeed, but I mean, we also want to place a person who's going to take their business to the next level. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you absolutely love the guy, that's great. Like, we want to bring that to you. We're not, hopefully, whoever you commission to bring in or to hire this person for you isn't, just going to give you a crappy person. We want you to fall in love with them, and that's why it is frustrating when this is a good candidate who can do the job, and the client side is, being a little bit more patient than we would like on it. And that seems to, that I've been learning how to deal with that. And I've been trying to establish with clients, I'm not going to call just to ask you how the weather. There is going to be a direct purpose for the call. Yeah. And it's funny, Blakely, we've been riding together, because she takes Martin into Atlanta, and so she's listened to a few of the client calls that I have, and there's one of my most.
Are you training her to be a recruitment consultant?
No, I'm not. But she's giving me critiques because she says, well,
I don't believe you. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
If you proposed to me that way, I would not have married you.
No, and she's saying you talk very quickly and directly, and it said, and I try to get the point. Well, yeah, these guys are getting all these different calls. I just want to make sure I'm being concise and direct to the point. And the sales side of it, as soon as I got the answer, as soon as it said, yeah, bring them on. All right, have a great, wrap it up, get off the phone. You got the answer you wanted. And yeah, it kind of goes back to the sales portion of everything too. But I thought it was hilarious when she said, yeah, you talk really quickly, and it's not as friendly as, not that I'm being mean, but just not as, as comfortable and, and jovial.
The side of you that maybe she's not as used to seeing.
Maybe.
The
That's
fun-loving, the sometimes chill, sometimes calm, sometimes
the Rocket League playing, beer drinking. That's a great point. I never even thought about that. That is a great point.
So I think that actually shows that an element of we can play up and down. I think that's something I do preach about it, is we gotta have a range of knowing that it cannot be one no. For example, you go into a restaurant, and the restaurant only does one thing. You may go there for the one thing, but they may not come back to you for other things. Yeah. And then you gotta be able to be a little bit well-rounded. Even though we focus on the niche, we still focus on, however, the entire full desk, from the candidate to client side of the thing. Obviously, that it's a people-based system. We're focused on a service versus focused on a product.
Yeah, I think a big part, as you said, having the range, and I try to match the client. If he wants to, have a very friendly conversation, I'll definitely go up. But if thousands and thousands of dollars are on the line, I'm going to be as serious as possible until they kind of, show their hand and all that. And when I'm starting to get these calls now, I've done a few more deals, and just doing and really trained and have the experience, it's a big learning curve. I'm starting to realize, when this phone rings, it could be someone's life changing, candidate wise, or they're getting a new job, or heck, I might be able to go up into a new echelon, financially or even professionally too. I mean, it's great to perform that way, and it's nuts. I mean, even 6 months ago, if you told me, yeah, go call the VP of this manufacturing company who does X amount of hundreds of millions or billions, I mean, like, I would have probably soiled myself on that. I mean, it's just true.
It sounds scary.
Yeah, at 25 years old, you're speaking with this guy. Yeah, 3 decades of experience, and you're supposed to
know it all.
know it all and sell it to him. But now that you thankfully have experience, and definitely has been a perfect journey. Taking some L's. Everyone has taken an L here or there, but it's definitely a lot more comfortable. And it's been a journey.
So Matt, far. Not Matthew.
Matt. Yes, Matt, not Matthew.
So walk us through a little bit journey, because obviously that you came from a recruitment background in the past, have an idea, work well, have some demonstrated success in recruitment, but now coming into this full 360 model with a specific niche you're working under, like you said. Walk us through about your journey, because there's so many elements in there.
Yeah, so one thing that I guess I had to learn is I really didn't know anything about recruiting. I mean, this is, what we do is very high level stuff. The candidates we work
Some
with.
high level stuff.
Yeah. I joke with Gary all the time, and I texted him, one deal, not to get into specifics, but was closer to 6 figures in total value. I mean, at 25 years old, that is a ton of money to be throwing around in closing. And it started off with trainings, and you're coming in here, and it felt like I was drinking from a fire hose, because I'm trying to learn this software program, and I have no background in computers or software. And really, what helped a lot was the elevator pitch and kind of being concise on the phone. Yeah. At first, I thought, wow, this is really, come on, like, just pick up the phone and talk. But no, it really does establish who you are and what you do. And practicing that took a lot of time. Really, the candidate side of things helped a lot. And thankfully, I had a good mentor in Kelly Andrews. So I better get a like from you, Kelly, on this.
Did you text Kelly about this?
I can text her on this.
Oh. No. Does she know that you're coming on here to talk about JD Edwards?
No, she does not.
I'm
She's in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. With
we saw Gary just sign on, right?
Some of our other colleagues right now. Hopefully if you're watching, Gary, I'd recommend Arturo Fuentes cigar bar at Caesar's Palace. Just excellent. And you'll see a few photos of celebrities that frequent there. Excellent. But really the training that comes with it. And I think it's hard for a lot of people. I'm a competitive person, and if you don't have instant success right away, it can be not disheartening, but if you're very competitive and you see people such as, Renee, and people have been doing this a long time, kind of ringing the gong and making deals, and you're kind of doing the math in your head, wow, they just took home like that much commission. It gets to you, but for me, that was kind of helps me perform and helps drive a long way. It's very expensive to learn these lessons at times, because obviously there are some deals I wish I could have gotten back, but the reinforcement, constant training, and I know I'm planning on watching Walmsley again between the college football games this weekend, because I've had a little success, but now I want to take it to the next level. On that, I want to get to a certain point that thankfully at 20, I guess I'll be 26 and coming up in April, and I think I'll be able to get to. So it's an exciting time, but a lot of training, really good mentorship from Kelly Andrews helped a lot. Really, the entire team. I've never seen a company where the management and leadership wants everyone to succeed as much as I do here.
I did not coach him to say that.
No, he didn't. And please don't try to take this as, I guess, with fluff or anything like that. But I mean, not too many CEOs text you on Saturday saying, "Congrats on doing the deal. Do you want to go get a drink on down the road to celebrate?" So
Gary's crying over there.
Hopefully not.
Are you hearing this?
Hopefully not.
For those that didn't know, we have several pictures on there already. Our achievers from the previous year, they're all out in Vegas celebrating.
Yeah.
And our Dreamforce staff that just came back from Dreamforce.
Yeah.
So all the Salesforce folks essentially are working on getting all their content together. They will be with us next week to do a proper recap on their journey.
That had to be a nice time in San Francisco. And I mean, to speak on that too, and what's impressive is I know coming down the road the investment in training people who are even well established. Guest sent us to a user group conference where, I mean, not a whole lot of recruiters go to those things. I mean, to actually learn, and that was very impressive for me, because if you're not a business analyst or whatever software professional, there's always something to learn about.
Yeah, let's be honest. With most of the staffing professionals goes in, they have basically the pure idea in mind of they're going to meet people to potentially start a sale, initiate a sale, to close a sale. But I think that for us, because we focus on that niche, it's actually very beneficial, especially that me personally attending Trailhead about 6 weeks ago in Atlanta, and it's so much of system-based of the beauty, the sexiness to it, the innovative pieces to it, that brings a lot of things to life.
Yeah, one thing, and I'm sure every recruitment consultant here has gone through this. I was really scared to ask the candidates themselves like what this meant initially, because I was presenting myself, I'm an expert and I do this 100%, which was true, but I was scared to ask them like, could you just explain this to me on an easier level? And now that I've finally gotten past that, people are really willing to like go in depth. I spoke with a guy for 45 minutes today. Probably not the best use of time management, but he really kind of broke down stuff to understand what goes on in a full implementation cycle and who's involved, and it was very helpful. And I mean, I think at first it may be intimidating for some people, and so that's been a little bit of growth for me over the last 5 months to understand the actual product. So when I am taking those specs, you do need a developer who can do this specifically. Really, God, it helps on that.
Yeah, and because we do what we do, but the people we talk to, we don't do what they do. So obviously have them tell us what they do on a daily basis. That brings a lot more things to life.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, I mean, obviously you've been, it seems like a revamped training and development program. What's been some of the successes? I know you have a few people who, I mean, I just, graduated the other day, re-graduated, I think, on that.
That's exciting.
I mean, but you have people who are getting really close to that, billing pretty quickly, it seems like. I guess, have you learned anything, or has there been anything that you thought, wow, this has really made a difference?
That's a great question, because my fundamental belief is always that everybody's one of a kind, and then everybody look at things a little differently, how they're processing a little differently, and even through that process, when it comes to execution, it's a little differently. So I always want to look at having a platform that can work for, I don't want to say everybody, but most people to a certain level, so they can succeed or taste, like you said, the small wins to the big wins to those things. Because I think that in the sales-based element of having that instant gratification is always nice. Yeah. And then also they know that what we're doing is the right thing, and then so that they can continue to follow through our best practices, and then just trust the process. Know that good things is gonna come. We just gotta be consistent and have a tenacity going at it.
Yeah, I mean, and it sounds cliche about trusting the process, but it really does boil down to that. And I think, unfortunately, maybe, with the millennial generation, if you don't have instant success and you're not great right off the bat, it's really easy to get discouraged. And unfortunately, I mean, I've been guilty of doing that in other phases of life, and I think a lot of people my age are. So. Yeah,
hey, I'm a late millennial myself. Yeah. Not to putting the age factor in there, but
I don't like to assume anything. Age is a spectrum. No, I'm just kidding.
Space.
It's a real number. But I mean, when you see a person do their first, second, and third deal, that has to be extremely satisfying for you, because when they walk in here, they don't really know anything about how to go about this.
I'm not sure satisfactory is. I don't want to make it sound cliche either. I think that I do get teary eyes. And then I usually see people that everybody's celebrating for them. I'm usually not the first one going and giving them a hug. There's tons of people in line giving them hugs and cheering for them as well. But I know that those things that you can close a deal by luck, but to do it twice, 3 times and consistently, those take some major accomplishments that from a learning aspect of things to making sure those things sink in. So it becomes that, we talk about it's about the mindset and then the attitude, not about the skill set, because skill set can be taught. But the mindset and then the attitude gotta be there to want this and to make it work. And then those elements really, really brings a lot of beauty of things to it. And then I think that's the gratification. I think I got that. I know this person is gonna be successful, and sometimes it's just a matter of when.
I like that you use the word mindset. The most recent one I did, it took a lot of after-hours phone calls, because everyone, the 3 people involved, myself, the client, the candidate, all at different time zones. So. But
that's crazy.
as soon as I announced it and closed it, I wasn't thinking about, I was speaking at 9 o'clock at night or whatever else I had to do. It doesn't matter at that point, because it comes with such a satisfaction from it. And another thing that's impressive, I've never met like upper management who actually stop meetings. I mean, it doesn't even matter what the meetings are, to come congratulate an entry-level employee on what they've done and their success and things like that. And it's impressive to see from a company. I know we're a little bit smaller outfit and we're growing, but I would imagine if we had 300 people, it would still be like that when all the noise. So it's refreshing.
I hope so one day.
Yeah,
get there. Hopefully not far from that stage.
We'd probably be branching into the Pacific Islands too. We could settle that debate. If it's Hawaii, if it's North America, whatever it is, we can finally figure it out. But no, it's definitely, and I imagine if we do this again in 6 months, my views on time management and things will probably even grow a little bit farther. But I mean, it's been a journey of doing real business, and that's what I tell Gary a lot. I mean, God, this is high level business we're doing, and no matter what degree anyone has, I mean, this is baptism.
And know how to prioritize our focus, and knowing that what's important for each of our individual business is very important to know that how to plan for success. And then set ourselves for success. So on the time management aspect of things, because that going into, there's always 3 parties involved, from you to client, candidate, whatever order, sometimes all conjunction together. So how do you manage?
So kind of on the growth process, and you mentioned like a first deal can kind of be by luck. I was a little hesitant, probably. I was just like kind of calling whenever it was convenient for them. Second deal was a little bit better on that. Still kind of waiting for the client to get back, and thankfully Kelly was helping me on that. And the candidate side, he was answering my calls whenever. Third deal was very interesting. The client couldn't stop calling me, and then whenever I called the candidate or the client, everyone was picking up the phone. And I knew kind of with the growth, that's the right person. But I also set the expectation of, one, when I'm talking with the client for the first time, taking the spec that, again, it's regular and transparent. I'm calling you about business. This is for your benefit just as much as mine. And really setting that expectation and believing in it. Because we can say the words, but if you deliver it like, I'm gonna need regular, and just say, I need regular, honest feedback right after each interview, what have you. When I really believed that and you delivered it, that made all the difference to me. It saved me a ton of time, because the first ones, I'm sure, there's a lot of phone tag involved, but it was very direct, very concise, and we got it done in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, that was great.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Oh god.
So what's next for you?
Making more deals, obviously. A competitive person, and I'm not in Vegas right now, and I'm glad for everyone who is, but you know, it motivates me that I'm not there, and I realize I'm not there. So I like the Venetian. I like to drink and go watch a show. So yeah, I mean, that's just a competitive guy I am. But you know, not to take anything away. Congrats to everyone who is there on that. But yeah, I mean, it's closing more deals. It's really, when I say I'm the expert now, really the next year, 12 months, it's closing more, making more clients. Data entry, Kelly Andrews, I know we've talked about it. Yes, more data entry, database building on that. And I want to get to a point where, you know, I've marketed myself to so many touches that people are calling me for, hey, we need a contract, we need this, who do you have? So that's really the goal for me in the next year and a half.
I don't think well, there's many different elements of that, but it doesn't get any more gratifying that people actually contact you for being who you are, doing what you do,
Exactly.
and being recognized as the leader in the market.
Yeah, no, 100%. I see it on IFS a lot with Michelina Simonson, where I swear, like a couple weeks ago, I answered a call for her where her client, and I just asked, you know, hey, can I just tell her what's about? Yeah, and the guy said, oh man, I need like 2 contractors and I need them quick.
It's almost like they're like fish out of the water.
Yeah.
That's where you need to have the resource, and I mean, that's what we're here for as well, to provide that solution to.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the goal, really build JD Edwards, and I know Kelly has laid a great foundation for it, and I've been fortunate to work right under her there, so yeah, I mean, it's...
Your ears must be like super itching on every level.
Yeah, you know, try to give credit where credit's due. I don't think, you know, no matter what, no one doesn't enjoy getting their ego stroked a little bit, or just, you know, being appreciated for a little thing. God, I told Kim Hurley yesterday, it's nice when you go to our copier, our names are already programmed in, so it can send directly to our inbox. So I'm a big little things guy, and I try to say thank you and appreciate even the smallest of gestures. Just never know when it might brighten someone's day for that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Matt James. So what's on your plan for the next few days, weeks, months?
Well, short term.
What's crafting?
Yeah, I mean, short term this weekend, a lot of college football. I think Blakely and I are going to take a trip over Christmas. So if you're a prospective employee, you get a pretty generous holiday break. One of the nicer ones I've
It's like turned into a PR. No wonder Melissa Popper had it in here earlier.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think we're going to try to sneak up either to Chattanooga or the mountains. I think we're going to take little Puppy Face and German Shepherd. And I mean, long term, been tossing it out with Gary. I would really like to go to England for, you know, either a week. I'd love to do it on business, kind of see what they do over there. You know, do some historical stuff too, obviously. But what about you? You got any big plans for this week and for the holidays coming up?
Yeah, I've got a volleyball tournament in Sacramento.
That's right.
So I'll be flying out your way, guys. Everybody out there in San Fran, LA. I'll see you in Sacramento for the tournament. And then I think that we'll probably be here for the holidays, but also for Thanksgiving. But I think my other half and I and several friends are going out to Buenos Aires for the holidays.
Argentina, correct?
Yeah.
See, geography. It's a theme here. We like it.
We love to travel, so gotta work hard and play hard.
I bet the weather down there in South America.
So
Like,
it's summertime there.
Oh, is it?
It's gotten that first time.
It's reversed seasons.
Yeah, so.
So, but yeah, our viewers just got like a sweet geography lesson today. I mean, it's been great so far. So awesome. You'll definitely have to send some sweet Snapchats, and if you're not on Snapchat, you can add me. I think it's just Matt James on Snapchat. Please do. I'd love to interact.
You sure you're the only Matt James on there?
I'm pretty sure. I think because I was on that train early, so I mean, I can put it in the comments. Not a big deal.
Yeah, probably. If you really want everybody to add you, probably pop your what's that called? Your Snapchat, the snap code.
Oh yeah. I gotta look at.
Yeah.
It's not my most proficient app. Or you can also follow me on Untapped, and we can exchange craft beers we drink over the holidays. It's great.
Oh my goodness, so many tips. So everybody, manage your time well.
Thank you.
And then follow this guy for any JDR with needs, and Kelly Andrews.
And Kelly Andrews.
We should tag her name over and over and over. Hey, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Thank you. See you guys next week when we follow with all the Salesforce folks about your Dreamforce 17. Lots of exciting things. Obviously, a lot of hype online. We'll see you next week.
Bye.